So again, where I said earlier is now there is a flag. Once you've unlocked any lost sector, you can just go back out to where you started, and there's going to be a flag. The flag's going to tell you everything that you need to do, right? So here's Skydock 4. Again, this is a very short lost sector. The things that you want to think about are what you're bringing into and how you're going to optimize taking down the champions and the enemies in here. And so if we look at that, we're going to look at all the modifiers. And so equipment locked. So again, you do have to be intentional about what equipment you're bringing into this. Limited revives. So whenever you I was like destroy, but that's an accurate term, destroy or kill a champion, you actually get a revive. I think you start off with like 3 revives or something like that, 2 or 3 revives, and then for each champion you kill, which ideally you're killing all of them, you then get an additional revive. Obviously when you die, you lose those revives. It's going to be anti-barrier and unstop in here, where you're going to get a solar threat. So all incoming solar damage is going to hurt a bit more. So what we're going to want to do in our kit is going to put on that solar resist, just to be able to survive a little bit longer. We're already at 100 resil right now, but then again, we want to already got 1 solar resist on, and so just go ahead and put on a second one just to be safe. But anyways, going back to the screen, from there we have pestilence, and so the scions, and this is really a pain, and there could be an argument to also have void resist on, but that's totally, you know, up to you. But again, scions spawn void grenades at their feet, and so again, just really killing scions at a distance is really going to be your best friend here. Overcharge weapons, seasonal weapons have overcharge. I'm not really interested in a lot of the seasonal weapons outside of the Regnet. Regnet, I know a lot of people call it the Pregnant, but the Regnet, which is the grenade launcher heavy weapon. Void Surge, outgoing void damage, has a lot of damage. So again, both of my 2 of my weapons right now have void damage, and so I'm probably still not going to end up with those, but that's just something to keep in mind with void damage. And then strand, there's a 25% bonus to outgoing strand damage, and so keeping that in mind. And then shotguns as well. So these things help inform you of what you should be building in, bringing into your build, and knowing that because it's Lightfall, a lot of these activities have a bonus to strand, so they're really, you know, pushing you to and encouraging you to use strand. If you want to, you can. If you don't, you don't. But again, use what's going to actually help you the most. And so for me, I'm actually going to go with the void on this one. We need something that's going to take care of the unstop. So a couple different options here. I am thinking about just keeping on collective obligation because it's void and it has the leech debuff, which can be really nice. So just to keep that for the anti-barriers. And then we definitely need something for the unstop. So we're just trying to figure out what will be best for that. So we got a couple different options to deal with them. Also, unstops are just like very what's the word, very easy to just like take down. So there's a lot of variety, but again, knowing that if we go with collective obligation, that kind of limits our ability to take down unstop. So a couple different options that we can potentially go with is we do something like revision 0, keep that in there, and then we have no, I need a scout. That's what I need. Oh, you know, I can do that. So actually, let's do that. I'm gonna borrow a scout from one of my other characters just to make this easier on myself rather than trying to like build based on what I don't have. All right, so where is it? Where is it? Okay, here it is. Cool. So I have Nameless Midnight, which is the Nightfall weapon, which is a solid weapon. And then we're going to, LOL. We're going to throw on Collective Obligation just because I like it. So this is going to help us take down the unstops. This is going to help us take down the anti-barriers. And then in terms of weapon, you saw there that in the run we just did that there's really a couple different approaches that we can take. And so we can kind of go with the Regnant in terms of repulsor brace and kind of having that explosive damage build, or we could do something like a machine gun, again, for the distance, for the slams. And so because both of these are mid-range weapons, I'm just going to leave that as that. And then again, these don't take ammo. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, so keep this on. So I have double heavy finder on because I only have one heavy weapon. Why am I getting 1800 level blue? Why? And again, a lot of these things I already kind of have set, so I really don't need to mess with them. But again, we're going to put on doubler solar resist because we are getting additional solar income damage, and then concussive dampener if you want. There's a lot of stomp mechanics in this game. If you want to keep it on, you can, but I'd rather just go ahead and put void on because we'll also be dealing with those scions. So again, got those covered. I need to make this line. So I have 2 void weapons. I have double void surge, and also I have on orbs of restoration. So picking up orbs grants small energy to the ability with the least amount of energy. So again, this is my armor from Deepstone. And then outreach, distribution, utility, kickstart, I'm fine with keeping those on as of right now. The only thing is that we're at 110. 110 really doesn't benefit us at all. And so what would be really good is to build into something else. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it actually towards my grenade. And so now we see it evens out. We have 100 resil. We have double void surge. We have double solar resist and void damage resist. And then we have a pretty high tier grenade. The only other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to major because we're really more worried about using this to stun champions. And this is a pretty good role for that. All right, cool. So we're in there. Our power level is 1824, 1808 with gear. And the recommended power level is 1830. So let's get in there and let's try it. Again, a lot of Lost Sector work is just like taking your time and like not getting rushed. Gonna get the second stun. Again, the backpack is their crit spot. I'm gonna wait till it's finishable. Finish. I go on Viz. We're ready to keep her moving. Gonna get in some so you see right there, I'm just making a quick adjustment because if I hop down there, I'm just going to be more exposed. There's less cover. So right now, I'm just going to reload my weapons, play it safe. Again, the unstop is not going to regen the health, right? So that's like the benefit we're playing out here. Again, if I had a different build, we could play this a different way. But again, just to show folks. When we get down here, there's not a lot of cover. There is some cover. We know we can throw some shots down there. I have kinetic tremor. I'm gonna reload. You see that kinetic tremor does that little spark. So that helps us burst down. Yep, burst down the unstop pretty quickly. So again, not really much for us to do right now for the anti-barrier. Just let them do their attack. And then what I'm trying to do is get them to put up their shield. Nice. Get put that down. Okay, so you all remember from our first run, and I'm also trying to be wary of how much heavy ammo I'm using, but you all remember from our first run is that we have all these enemies here, right? So that kinetic trimmer perk, you see those extra damage splashes. We have those that are working in our favor, but again, we have some additional enemies here, so we want to be careful about that, not push up too far. I believe there's at least one more. Again, this is where the void is helpful because we're able to take down those shields. Again, there's no match game, but and folks kind of like, oh, I don't have to match shields anymore. The purpose of there being no match game, one is it's kind of a difficulty nerf that helps a lot of the community, but then also, again, people forget that like just because there's not match game doesn't mean that it's not helpful to match shields, because again, when you break the shield, you're still having that extra bit of damage that happens. And so, you know, just keeping that in mind. Again, we're about 3 minutes in. Again, this is more, I'm just kind of doing an example. We're still flawless, so keeping that in mind. The scions, again, just have that purple stuff. Don't like that purple stuff. And then I have my super now as well. So again, we're just going to be careful about this corner. I haven't played this Lost Sector in a little bit, so I do remember that there's a couple different enemies that are going to come out like they just did. Again, having this distance, this range is super helpful. And from my memory, this is still a good spot to be at. Let's get that down a bit. Again, just play it safe. If you're doing a solo flawless run, it's just like there's really no need to rush. And you see the sign right there, it's just like darkness encroaches, and people start to freak out and then speed up and do things that actually aren't helpful for their run. Ultimately, it just means that if you die once darkness encroaches, that's just the end of your run, right? So if you want to speed run these, there's definitely places and ways to speed run, but again, you just want to be mindful that just want to be mindful. All right, so we see we got a whole bunch of enemies right now. So what I'm gonna do, and that's also the boss. Got that debuff from the tether on there. Go invis, protect myself, get that overshield. And also right now, I'm just trying to do damage to the boss so I can build to my grenade, which puts a weakness debuff on the boss. And then let's get that kinetic trimmer going. Let's get that kinetic trimmer going. I pulled out the wrong weapon. That's okay. It happens. Meant to pull out my grenade launcher. But again, get some kinetic trimmers going that sustain damage. And again, sustained damage is really helpful because, again, it's a big enemy. It's going to take a while to... Again, going to invis just for protection. Again, normally I'd do this a lot faster, but again, just doing it for demonstration purposes. And we see that we check our radar, nothing's there. We check the corners, nothing's there. Just being a cool kid. And yeah, and we solo flawless. Again, platinum rewards, we killed all our champions, and then we did it solo flawless as well. So you all can see that. Again, if you take your time, don't rush, don't get too excited about it. You can make it happen. So we did that in 7 minutes. And again, 7 minutes is, you know, kind of slow, especially for this short of a law sector. So optimized, feeling comfortable, still doing it flawless, you'll get this in like 3 minutes, if not a little bit faster. I know there's some folks who can do it in 90 seconds, but that's like super optimized. Those folks are like practice. But again, we have that. I can't commend myself. But we said that kills 37, orbs created 7, and we went there. So no deaths. Again, I don't get the pop-up for it because I've already solo flawless this law sector in general, so it already counted for my warlock. But again, it's just something to keep in mind that if you do that, you will get both the platinum rewards, but then also you will get the triumph for doing that. So